Hey guys and dolls, so today I'm going to be reviewing my Iwata Silver Jet Studio Series compressor. It's a bit heavy, so if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and set that down. So there are a million, well not really, maybe a million, I don't know. There's a lot of different compressors out there that you can choose from if you're wanting to go for a professional airbrush system. Now these two pieces I'm going to be talking about today are technically two separate items. They're both from Iwata, however they're sold separately, so you have your choice. You can mix and match. You can use a different brand with this compressor. This is just what I purchased. It was what was right for me. I liked the aesthetic look of the compressor, and I liked the specifications of the airbrush, and I read reviews and it said that this one was pretty good for makeup. So, and I also didn't want to get anything crazy expensive because airbrushing is not something that at the time that I bought it, I was very, very novice. This was one of the least expensive combinations I could find that was still good quality and pro grade. So if you're looking into getting like a quality airbrush compressor, even just to airbrush yourself at home, I think that price-wise this is comparable to some of the like at-home systems that they sell. This combination cost me about $255 for both pieces. The airbrush compressor itself I think was $142, and the airbrush was either $124, I think it's $117 or something like that now on Amazon. So in the $250-ish range, not too bad. So I just want to kind of walk you guys through the whole thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around because this thing is way too heavy to like show you guys each piece. So yeah, let's do that. Alright guys and dolls, say hello to my Iwata Studio Series Silver Jet compressor. I have to be completely forthcoming. I did purchase this because it looks sort of retro. Something about the finish on the metal and just the overall shape of it just looks very retro to me, sort of 1950s vibe. I don't know what it is exactly. If you don't get that vibe, it's cool. It's just how it appeals to me. So I just want to go through the basics of this compressor to let you get to know it a little bit better. We have the knob here with the minus sign and the plus sign are pretty self-explanatory, less or more air. We have the airbrush holder thing right here. It's all rubber, and then your airbrush can just stick right in. It's really nice because the airbrush typically will sit nice and straight, and so that you can put the makeup into the cup thingy-majig without having to hold it, which is really quite convenient. We then have the Psi gauge, which is controlled, of course, by this. So this would be more, this would be less. The pressure on this actually goes all the way up to 60. As I understand it, this has a working pressure of 10 to 18, and I think that just means the maximum pressure because I routinely use this at about a 5. Another thing to mention is that this is not a continuous airflow system, so as soon as I turn it on, air won't come out of the airbrush. You actually have to press on the trigger to get air to come out. Now, this is really nice because you can control the air, and you have just a little bit more control with this. However, when you first turn it on, the PSI will say one thing, and then when you press on the trigger, some of that pressure goes down, so then the dial will go down, so you might want to adjust that accordingly. Another thing to say on that note is that because it's not continuous airflow and you have to release the air manually, when you turn the system off, you'll need to continue to press down the trigger to let all the air out, otherwise pressure can build and bad things can happen. The next thing that we have is the air hose. This is a coiled air hose, so it does stretch to 6 feet, and I think that the coiledness of it actually adds to that retro look and feel. And then on the end of the air hose, you have a piston grip filter. Now, I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly what this did. I think it has something to do with water getting into the airflow and kind of messing things up. I'm not 100% certain, so I can't say for sure, but I do know that this piston grip will only work with Iwata airbrushes. So if you're wanting to use a airbrush from, say, Aztec or Badger, the company actually provides you with these little adapters that you can hook up a different airbrush, which I think is really cool that they even did that. I mean, it's probably not terribly expensive, but it's cool that they actually provide you with that. Alright, now we get to my airbrush, which is a separate component. This is an Iwata Eclipse HP CS. There are many, many different types of airbrushes to choose from just within the Iwata brand alone, not to mention ones you can get from other companies, but this is the one that I chose because it seemed that it would suit my purposes the best. You can kind of see me in the reflection. Hi, how you doing? What's up? So anyway, it has this very large cup that is really, really great for mixing because you can mix large quantities of product at a time. So if you're painting something other than makeup, or if you're doing body painting or something, you won't have to load it up nearly as often as you would with a smaller cup. The trigger here is very nice. It's very fluid. Of course, I'm doing this left-handed. It's just a little awkward for me right now, but you know, it feels very comfortable to pull it back. It's not too loose, not too tight. I have actually taken this entire thing apart and cleaned it, so it goes back together nice and easy. Fun fact for you. This top part right here exposes part of the needle, which again just kind of adds to an aesthetic look of it. It just overall feels very good quality, very nice in the hand. It just feels very natural, and I do use the piston grip to actually help myself hold it, so that also helps. The airbrush itself also has a little metal cap to prevent any dust or anything getting in it, and I do use that cap to keep friendlies that I don't really want to become friends with out. Now if we turn it to the side, we can see that it does say Iwata down here, and it has a plug and the on-off button, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it on for you guys so you can hear how noisy it is. Oh. Alright, you get the idea. Now, I didn't actually move it, it moved itself. So one thing that is important to mention is that this isn't completely stationary. I think that if I put some kind of like rubber feet on the bottom, it would move a little, or it would move less, but it does tend to dance around a little bit. It does have the very heavy-duty cord with the 3-prong United States plug-in, which is kind of standard for any kind of heavy-duty appliance. Now, this airbrush and compressor combination is capable of doing car paint or painting walls or any number of things. However, I do want to mention that you don't want to mix different types of paint or makeup. Since we're talking about beauty specifically, you don't want to mix different types of foundation. Now, I also, in addition to that, wouldn't recommend using car paint or something in something that you're also going to spray on your face. It just doesn't really seem like a good idea to me, but that's just advice. But more specifically about the makeup, water-based makeup and silicone makeup have a different viscosity or different thicknesses, and just because of the way that they are chemically, it's not good to run them through the same machine. I don't completely understand the technical details of it, but every review I've seen has said, do not run water-based through the gun that you use silicone-based and vice versa. It will gum up the machine, and I'm going to take their word for it because this wasn't a cheap piece and I don't want to ruin it. So I do plan on actually getting another airbrush to try silicone-based makeup, so that'll be another series, maybe next spring or something like that. For now, we're just talking about the water-based makeup because I can only get one of these things at a time because they're not exactly cheap. The reason that I even mentioned silicone makeup is that some of the at-home systems are only intended for one type of makeup or the other. This compressor can handle both, and so can the airbrush. So if you're preferring silicone-based makeup, you can use it. Just don't mix. That's the bottom line. All of that said, this is a wonderful combination. It gives me a really fine mist. It makes it so that I can really build up my makeup because I like to do it in a sheer layer and see if I need more, and do another sheer layer and see if I need more. You know, it never spurts out the makeup, it never poops out on me. It does kind of dance around the table in a little circle, a little teeny tiny bit, but nothing major, nothing that's like kind of worth not having it for. And actually I normally have it butted up against something else on my table, so it doesn't tend to move when there's something else kind of, you know, holding it in place. What I was really expecting when I purchased this was a pro quality studio compressor, and that's exactly what it is. It's not so much portable friendly because it is kind of heavy. You know, 6 pounds is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you have a kit and you have all these other things and it's already so heavy, and then you have this like 6-pound thing at the bottom. It is pretty weighty. So I am looking to get a portable compressor, perhaps like a Sparmax or something. I'm not dead set on anything. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm open to them. Just something that's smaller and much lighter. But I do like the fact that you have so much control with this. This just feels so like official. I don't know. And it looks cute, I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, that is my Iwata Silver Jet compressor and Eclipse HP CS, had to read it, airbrush gun review. I hope that you guys found this helpful and informative. You know, I'm going to be doing later on in this series just a few videos from here. I'm going to do a demo because I know a lot of you guys want to see a demo, but I kind of wanted to get all the reviewing out of the way. I thought this would take less time than it is. What are you going to do? Anyway, have a great day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be yourself.